Okay, so as I was married, at this time I was married. This is Mom's final nap. I was married, and I was approximately 32 to 35. I don't know, 30 to 35, and Mom hadn't been feeling well. Well, anyway, she she was eventually diagnosed with cancer. She had 8 fields of cancer, and I had cancer when I was a young man. I was 18 when I had cancer, but she had this cancer, and I thought, and I had they called me on while I was roofing one day and said, "Hey, Mom's got cancer, and this is what's going on." So I felt really, frustrated about that or concerned about that, and so I went right to see her and talked with her. We talked, and I was pretty frustrated about this because it was more than likely going to be terminal cancer. So the next day I went down there and I called Mom. I says, "Where's Mom?" "Oh, she's in the hospital. She's getting treatments." And I was pissed. I was really upset because my dad went down and he said, "Give her the full treatment, doctor." And they radiated the heck out of her. They gave her, I don't know if they gave her chemotherapy. I think it was radiation. But she was never the same after the first day they radiated her and after they first did the cancer treatments on her. She was horrible after that exact day. She was having a rough time before that. She wasn't feeling good, but she was absolutely horrible after that. It really pissed me off that Dad had taken her and said to the doctors, "Give her the full treatment." They treated her in 8 different areas, I guess. Whatever it was, they did massive treatments on her, and she was never the same after that. She lived for 83 or 87 days after that, and during that time, it was, we had really special times, very special talks. I loved her. She was wonderful. She's an amazing mom, a very special mom. It was very kind, but anyway. Some pretty special experiences with her, but once once a few years prior to that, I told her that there was this room downstairs that they wanted to make it into my dad's office, but he had all these carpet samples and all this junk. It was just basically a hoarder's room, just tons of stuff in it. I said, "If you guys ever go on vacation, I'll go ahead and I'm going to bring my roofers up, and we're going to go down and I'm going to bring my dump truck up, and we're going to go down and we're going to clean out that room so that you can make an office out of it." She's like, "Don't you dare. You better not." And I'm like, "Well, whatever, leave town and see what happens." So anyway, she and Dad left town for 2 or 3 days one day to go golfing in California or something. I'm not really sure, but so I got me and my roofers, me and Jason, and maybe Jason and Cole. I can't remember who it was, but it was some of my nephews, and we went up there, pulled up into the driveway, backed the dump truck up. It's a big dump truck. It's a big roofing grain. It's basically a grain truck for farms. Big international, big open bed truck. And we hauled crap out of that room forever. It took us all day. And by the time we were done, there was only a small, tiny 3-foot pile of stuff left. Oh boy. When she came home, now this is before she had cancer. When she came home, she was livid. She was so mad that while she went on vacation, I brought my roofers up and we cleaned out her room so that they could make my dad a nice little home office. Anyway, she was mad. And the thing that she was the most mad about was, she said to me, "Where are my Midas muffler receipts?" And I'm like, "What?" She goes, "All my Midas muffler receipts and guarantees were in that room. Where are they? I want them right now. You go down to the dump right now and you find them." I'm like, "There's no way. They bury the dump with all kinds of stuff. There's no way I can find your Midas muffler receipts." Anyway, it was funnier than heck. So during the time that she had cancer, I would go over there and talk with her, and I say, "What do you want us to do with this plant?" "We'll give that to Jamie," because she knew she was going to die. "What do you want to do with this?" "Do this, whatever. You can do whatever you want with that. Throw it away, take it to the DI, whatever you want to do with it." And she said, I was in the room one time, and I walked by, and she looked up at me, and she was pretty sick at the time. This is probably a week or two before she died. And she looked at me, she says, "Bruce, I am still so mad at you for throwing away my Midas muffler receipts. And oh my heck, I laughed and laughed and laughed. She got mad at me, and she was still mad at me on her deathbed for throwing away her Midas muffler receipts. And I thought that was the funniest darn thing in the world. I'm like, you would never use them anyway. You're going to die. You won't even use them. You're going to be dead. They have lifetime warranties, and your lifetime is up. That's kind of what I thought. I didn't tell her that. But anyway, she was cute, however, because she was just so kind and so loving and so tell me that she'd love me all the time. She was so special to me. And I just loved serving her and being with her that last 83 days. Now, not every one of those days was I able to be there because I had to work. But on the last day, she was getting really bad and having a hard time breathing. And so we went in. My dad, I think my sisters and some of us went in, and my dad, and we gave her a blessing to release her with the priesthood so that she could pass on and go to our Father in heaven. And we went in on Sunday morning and gave her that blessing with the priesthood, the power of the priesthood. We released her and told her it's time to go home. Well, I came back at 5 o'clock that afternoon, and she was still alive. And I walked in and I said, Mom, why are you still here? You need to go. It's time to go. Now get going. I gave her a hug and a kiss. 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, she passed away. And what a wonderful mom she was. What a sweet, sweet mom. Her name was Alice K. Burton Hunt. See, Alice K. Burton Hunt. She was a wonderful, wonderful mom, and I love her. So I walked downstairs, and she passed away within 5 or 10 minutes. I walked downstairs to do something, came back up, and she had passed away. But I felt her presence in that room. As I prepared her body, I closed her eyelids and I straightened her arms so that they could be comfortable in the casket, and I straightened her body so that she would be taken care of. And at that time, I had a very reverent, respectful feeling come over me that I was taking care of my mom's physical tabernacle, her body, and her spirit was there witnessing me taking care of her sacred body. And so that's why bodies are so sacred. We have these bodies. They're meant to love, to take care of, to create children, and not to be abused and just used and abused in terms of doing whatever we want with our bodies. They're to be respected and honored because they're sacred. My mother's body is sacred to me because she had me. It was her way of being able to bring me to this earth for experiences that I would have so that I could gain experiences and share experiences with my family, experiences in the physical body like our Heavenly Father has a physical body. We have physical bodies so we can feel and experience both birth, life, and death. And that was a sacred experience, taking care of my mom.